In the small forgotten town of Gray Hollow there stood an old abandoned house on the edge of a thick forest. It had been there for as long as anyone could remember, a crumbling relic from another time. People avoided it, speaking only in hushed tones about the place as if it could hear them. The house was said to be cursed, home to a figure of nightmares, an old woman with no skin. Legend had it that many years ago, a widow named Agnes lived there. She was a recluse, strange and unkind, but no one could have imagined the dark rituals she performed in the dead of night. Rumors spread of eerie chanting, shadows moving unnaturally through the windows, and a smell of burning flesh wafting from the house. One fateful evening, Agnes disappeared without a trace. Some said she had died in a fire, others believed she had vanished into the woods. But the most chilling tale was that she had torn her own skin from her body in a twisted ritual, seeking eternal life. Decades passed, and the house remained abandoned. Most believed it was best left alone, until one cold autumn night, when three friends dared each other to explore it. They were young, fearless, and looking for a thrill. Lily, Jack, and Emily approached the house with flashlights and nervous laughter, the weight of the dark legend hanging in the air. The door groaned as they pushed it open, revealing a grand hallway covered in dust. The floor creaked under their feet and the air was thick with decay. The deeper they ventured, the more they felt an unsettling presence, as if someone, or something, was watching them. Their flashlights flickered, casting long shadows on the peeling wallpaper. "This place is worse than I thought," Jack muttered, his voice shaky. "It's just an old house," Lily replied, though even she could feel her heart racing. They reached the staircase and Emily, the bravest of the group, started to ascend. The others followed, but something was wrong. The air grew colder, and a faint wet sound echoed through the halls, like something being dragged across the floor. It seemed to come from the attic. The attic door was ajar, revealing a dark, yawning space beyond. As they entered, the smell hit them, a foul stench of rot and decay. Their flashlights caught a glimpse of something hanging from the rafters, long, dry strips of flesh, like skin torn from a body. Suddenly, from the far corner of the attic, they heard a low, rasping voice. "Why have you come?" The flashlight beams darted toward the sound, revealing her, Agnes. She was hunched and shriveled, her body glistening in the light, but she had no skin. Her muscles and sinew were exposed, red and raw, her eyes dark and hollow. She was smiling. Lily screamed, but her voice was drowned out by a sickening squelch as Agnes started to move, her bare muscles flexing as she dragged herself across the floor toward them. Her bony fingers stretched out, and the friends froze in terror. "You came to see me," Agnes whispered, her voice like dry leaves scraping the ground. Stay with me, forever." Panicked, they turned to run, but the door slammed shut with a deafening bang. Agnes was faster than she looked. Her hand gripped Emily's ankle, her raw fingers digging into her skin. Emily shrieked as a freezing coldness spread through her body. Jack and Lily pulled her free, but it was too late. The old woman was on them, her fleshless face inches from theirs. Lily stumbled backward, her flashlight rolling to the floor, casting a single beam on the horrifying sight. Agnes was peeling away Emily's skin, her fingers working with terrifying precision. Emily's scream turned into a gurgling moan as her body went limp. In blind terror, Jack and Lily ran, crashing down the stairs and through the front door. They didn't stop until they were far from the house, but by the time they dared to look back, the house had vanished into the mist of the forest, as if it had never been there. They never spoke of that night again, but the whispers in Gray Hollow grew louder, of how the old house still stood in the woods, waiting for its next visitors, and how on quiet nights you could hear the faint sound of skin being peeled away, echoing through the trees.